The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development. With a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives, at The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
Here we are. We've come to the end of the Best You EXPO. It's day 7. We're on the main stage, and I have the honor to introduce our next guest. This is Bernardo Moya, founder of the Best You EXPO. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, Tony. I'm very good. Thank you.
How are you feeling? It's almost midnight, 11 o'clock there.
It is. And it's been a long week. So yeah.
Where's your drinky?
Well, not yet. I'm still. As soon as I finish, I'll definitely have a drink.
Right. So our viewing audience, the archives that watch this later on, all know that you are Bernardo Moya, the founder of the Best You. But before we get into your share, can you tell us a little bit about what was that spark, that inspiration? Was it this big picture? Or has the picture grown over the years?
Well, you know what? I still haven't. The picture's still not big enough, to be honest. I always had the intention of the expos being global, international, and reaching hundreds of thousands and millions of people. So I'm not there yet. But, I think this new reality that's happened is definitely going to help me, help us kind of like connect with more people. And I've been really feeling the love, Tony. I've been really feeling the love today, been feeling the love all week, and it's going to keep me going. So I'm very, very excited.
Can we do our morning meeting tomorrow?
I'd love to. You know what? I've loved our morning meetings. We have a production meeting every morning, and it's just been great buzz, great energy between Matt, Tony B, Tony C, and myself. So no, I'm going to miss that.
I'm going to miss it a lot. Well, Dallas is coming up, in October?
Yeah, before we realize we're going to have to be. But yeah, listen, we're going to take a couple of days off. I'm going to take a week off. I'm going to ride my motorbike and get into the Irish kind of greenery and just chill out. But yeah, I mean, listen, we're going to start working on the Best You EXPO in Dallas. We've already started working. We've already got lots of speakers lined up, lots of speakers applying. So we're going to start working on Dallas very quickly. And
sounds good. And when's our first meeting for the television network?
Television network. Well, listen, it's happening. The Best You TV is a reality, and Bernardo Moya, that's my focus now. So I'm obviously going to making sure that we really turn it up for the Best You EXPO, bringing in this new reality of TV and virtual events together. So we're going to be doing that, but I'm going to be focusing on the television. That's my big picture, big picture. And making the Best You TV become the biggest, largest personal development network out there, where you can find any and every inspirational speaker, author, coach, documentary on this. So I'm very excited about that.
I'm excited as well. So you are an author as well. You are a promoter. You are a DJ. And you're a public speaker, and you have something to share today on your own stage. So I want to make sure I give you as much time as possible on your own stage. So I'm going to jump out, and I just want to say thank you so much for this honor of co-hosting with you this year.
Thank you so much, Sonny. You've done a great job. Thank you so much.
Great event.
For complimentary resources from my book, my complimentary e-course, The Power of the Question, or recommended reads, go to www.thequestion.com/resources. For more information on my coaching or mentoring, go to www.bernardo-moya.com.
Well, listen, I hope they don't cut me off, because I've left myself right to the end. It's the last talk of the week, but for me, it's been beautiful. One of the things that I'm very passionate about is obviously sharing my message, and unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time. I haven't had a lot of time because I've been working behind the scenes, building the Best You, promoting other people, but I'm obviously very passionate, and I've got my own thoughts, and I want to share them, obviously. So I am looking at opportunities to share my message more. I published quite a few books already, and I did them in Spanish, funny enough, then I translated them into English. My first book was 123 Ways to Look at Life, which is all about quotes and reframing situations. My second book was more confidence, more motivation, second and third. And the book that I published last year, which is The Question, Find Your True Purpose, which is now translated into Spanish. They're both in audio version. I've just published them in Audible. Very excited about that. So this book and this talk is around that. It's called The Question, Find Your True Purpose. But the title of the talk really is about nothing. It's about everything, and it's about thinking. And it's about questions and answers. That's what this whole talk is about. I want this talk to hopefully get you thinking and get you realizing about thinking about what you're thinking about. One of the things that I've learned and I've experienced with personal and professional growth is that so many people underestimate the value of thinking. And a lot of people don't really understand and appreciate the importance of thinking and being aware of their internal dialogue. So for me, having read so many great, having attended so many courses, having been NLP trained, coached, mentored, having modeled, learned from so many great people, for me, it's surprising to see how many people underestimate the power of thinking and how many people go through life literally already dead. There's three types of people. There's those that are literally just already, they've given up. They're just literally waiting for their pension, their retirement. There's those that are looking at those making a difference. And then there's those that go out and make a difference. But I want you to think for a minute. I want you to think for a minute about you. And I want you to think where you are. And I want you to think, okay, that you are maybe a little bit of nothing. Maybe you think that you're nothing. And then on the other hand, I want you to think about everything. I want you to think about the universe. I want you to think about that. And what I want you to do is I want you to just literally flow out of your body and just start flying into space and start seeing maybe the place that you live. And then you start seeing parts of your city. And as you float even higher and higher, you start seeing the whole city. And then you start seeing the state. And then you start seeing the whole United States. Or you start seeing part of the world wherever you're from, wherever you are. And then you go higher and higher. And then you can start seeing the surface of the earth, round and blue, or maybe dark with stars. And you're just floating up and up and up, and you're flying. And all of a sudden you can see the stars, and you can see the moon, and you can see the sun. And then you can start seeing the universe. You can see how vast the universe is and how amazing the universe is. And then you can see the sun, and you know that the sun is just a very small star where there's billions of stars and billions and hundreds of billions of universes. So obviously you think that that is everything and that you're nothing. But if you come back and you come from all of the way up there and you come all the way back down and you come to the present, all of a sudden you should realize that at the end of the day, whatever's going to happen, whatever is happening is happening. It's meant to be. It's serendipity. It's meant to be. And there's nothing that you can do about it. There's nothing that you can do about it. But on the other hand, there's everything. You can do everything. Because you see, if something happens, a lot of people tend to focus on, why has it happened? Why has it happened? Now, the best way is thinking, okay, it has happened. How can I move forward? What's the solution? Be a solution-driven person. Because you see, although you may think that you're nothing because the space and the universe is everything, you are your universe. You are your universe. You, your body, is a universe. It's amazing what we have, what we take for granted. This vessel that we use for our life. It is an amazing piece of machinery. And us, you, that you think are nothing, you are actually everything. Why? Because you're capable of the most amazing things. Because you are stardust. I think it was Dag Ivanovic was saying that yesterday. You're stardust. You have everything in you. You are part of space. So you're everything, and you are capable of everything. You are capable of doing the most amazing things. And there's people that do nothing, and there's people that do everything. So what I want to invite you to do, what I want you to invite you to do is I want you to think. I want you to start thinking about what you're thinking about. And I want you to understand the power that you have and that you are an amazing piece of machinery, that you're an amazing individual and you're capable of everything. You see, a lot of people don't appreciate the fact that, that basically you're a tenant on this planet. You're a tenant. And you haven't got a rental agreement because basically all of a sudden it could be terminated. Maybe some people, unfortunately, are notified that they're going to be leaving because they have a disease and they're here for a little while and they know eventually they're going to leave, maybe a month, maybe 3. But at the end of the day, we're tenants on this planet and we are mortals. But it shocks me, surprises me to see how many people live without really focusing and understanding and appreciating that they have a responsibility on this planet. You're a tenant. You are obliged to become the best version of yourself. You are, because you're a tenant. You can't come on this planet and destroy it. You can't come on this planet and not care. You can't come on this planet and not bother about anything else. You see, in order to be big, you need to think big. In order to be great, you need to think of great things. In order to achieve greatness, you need to be great. In order to do more, you have to be more. And that's what we're all here for. We're all here to do more, to be more, to help more. And you see, everything could be simply a kind word. The ripple effect of a kind word, the ripple effect of an act of kindness, could have an effect that could change humanity. Because you've helped someone that maybe, who knows, goes and invents something. So we're obliged to become the best version of ourselves. We are. And I think we have a phenomenal opportunity with what's happened, what is happening on the planet, what's happening now, where we have something that we cannot control. We have a virus that is literally floating around. And hey, listen, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't exercise, if you don't have a good, strong immune system, if you don't take care of your loved ones, and well, hey, listen, you might leave and you might not be able to stay on this planet anymore. But at the end of the day, it's beyond your control. But what's not beyond your control is to take responsibility for being on this planet. I'm tired of seeing people that are waiting. I had the other day Jeff Hoffman, who was speaking and sharing the idea about they. There is no they. There is no they. You are they, I'm they, we're all they. I love it when people say, hey, you did this and you're doing that and you're doing this. Well, what about you? What are you doing? You're obliged to become the best version of yourself. You're obliged to leave a legacy. You're obliged to do something about all the things that are wrong about this planet. All the things, all the injustices that are going on. You're obliged. We're all obliged. We can't let they, because they don't do it. And luckily, there's people that eventually, with time, realize that they've made fortunes, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and they decide to give it all back because that's what it's all about. So if personal professional growth is anything, if it is anything, it has to be for us to become the best version of ourselves. Because if we become the best version of ourselves, we're going to make the world a better place. End of. It's just logical, isn't it? I mean, if you're better, if you're a better human being, if you're more educated, if you exercise more, if you eat better, if you meditate, if you exercise, if you're kind, if you're loving, if you're educated, everyone around you is going to become a better version. Everyone's going to look up to you, feel inspired by you, want to be you, want to do what you do. Now, I had this conversation with someone the other day saying, hey, legacy doesn't really exist. Well, of course it exists. They reckon from the beginning of time there must have been at least 110, 115 billion people, up or down, a couple of billion, since the beginning of time. My question is, how many of them have actually made a difference? How many? I don't know. Hundreds of millions? Probably. There's a lot of people that have invented beautiful things, that have the plane, the Wright brothers, engines, doctors, vaccines, you name it. There's hundreds of millions. But why haven't we had billions of people making a difference? We have to take advantage of this time of everyone being the same, of understanding that we're all mortals, that diseases travel and they don't understand about borders, and that we're all subject to it. But it's just bringing our mortality to the reality of life. So you've got to understand that you're not nothing, you're everything, and you need to think. You're not nothing, you're everything, and you need to think. And you need to think about what you're thinking about. You need to think about, what are you doing now? What are you here for? What is your purpose? Stop reading the books. Stop attending the courses, the seminars. Stop doing all this thing if you're not going to do anything about it. Take these teachings and learnings and do something with it. Do something with it, but do something with it now. Guess why? Because you're a tenant on this planet and your contract may be terminated. And resistance is futile. It's the name of the game. That's the Borg. I love Star Trek. So my thought here is about getting you to understand that you're not nothing. You're everything. And my thought here is about thinking. Wake up every day Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for who you are. Be grateful for what you've achieved. And be grateful for being alive. And then start looking at the billions and billions of people that are worse than you. And then stop complaining. Complaining is negativity. Complaining is just a different form of negativity. That's it. There's no doubt about it. I get people, I'm not negative. Yes, you are. You're complaining. If you're complaining, you're negative. Be part of the solution. What are you doing to make the world a better place? And that's what my whole book is about. Having done what I've done and read what I've read and worked with what I've worked, I thought, well, why aren't people asking themselves empowering questions? You see, because the quality of your life is what I said. You must have seen it. The quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Depends. If you ask yourself every morning empowering questions, how amazing can I be today? How can I make a difference? How can I help someone? How can I inspire? How can I inspire my kids? How can I be better? How can I be stronger? How can I be healthier? Those are empowering questions. And you need to ask yourself, as often as you can, empowering questions. Questions that are going to help you, are going to motivate you unconsciously and consciously. Your mind is going to start looking, finding for the solutions. So, with the understanding that you're here for a reason, that you're everything, understanding that you need to think about what you're thinking about, you need to focus on what you want, and you need to be focusing on being part of the solution. I invite you, all of you, anyone watching this talk, to take responsibility. So I was talking about legacy, and this friend of mine was saying that she was disputing the idea around legacy. Look, legacy is everywhere. You see, one kind word to some person could change their life. It could change their life. I lost a very dear friend, Bernardo. He used to say the kindest things to me, always. Touch my heart, every single time. And that's the thing. The thing is that, we just don't know how and who we can inspire and when we can inspire them. And you might be doing something, and trust me, your kids are watching. Your kids are watching. If you're sitting on your sofa, eating the potato chips, as you call it in the US, eating fries, and you're not exercising, they're watching. If you watch the adverts of kids having no food or crossing the oceans because they're migrants and they haven't got a place to live and you don't do anything about it, they're watching. If you don't care about slavery, they're watching. If you don't care about plastics on the oceans, they're watching. If you don't care about global warming, they're watching. So if you don't do it for you, do it for them. So ideally, we all have to become the best version of ourselves. By us becoming the best version of ourselves personally, we're making our environment better, our family, our friends, our work. And then also we have to be working with companies. We have to be working and associated with companies that care professionally about their staff and about the things that matter. And then by doing so, then we're going to have a global impact. Anyone and everyone can have a global impact. Anyone and everyone with a phone can make a global impact. So don't tell me that you can't, because you can. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you. I wanted to share your responsibility of realizing that you are everything. You have everything you need. You have all the tools. Just by simply opening your arms, you're reaching more people. By saying something nice to one person a day, you're reaching and you're touching someone. But inspire. I really, really hope that at this time when, the world is so kind of upside down, we really take advantage of this time to create this new consciousness of all of us caring about everything and caring about helping and supporting each other. I watched a documentary the other day on Netflix, which I think was based on the book The Minimalist, and it's about wanting less, needing less. So in the book, at the end of the book, where I talk about resilience, I talk about revolution, change, and how great change is, and how you should welcome change. And I talk about reinvention. So that's the 3 R's of the book. But I then expand and explore the idea about honesty, about being honest with yourself. Honesty starts with yourself. Stop lying. If you're bullshitting yourself, you should say, stop lying. So be honest. Be congruent. I've seen a lot of people, I've said this, a lot of people write books about happiness and they're miserable. People they write books about success and they've never been successful, and so on. So be congruent, be honest. But most importantly, start taking care of yourself, start asking yourself empowering questions on a daily basis, and start taking care about the things that really matter around the planet. But in this documentary, The Minimalist, they talk about basically not needing as many possessions as we are inclined to have. And they talk about how, obviously, from the 50s or the 60s, whenever advertising started on radios and televisions, we've been dictated by advertising agencies and companies trying to sell us things, trying to sell us crap, trying to sell us whatever they want to sell us. That's why our kids, when they're 3, they're asking for the new toy and the new this and the new that. We've been brainwashed to wanting more, to wanting more, and to wanting more. Because we believe that by wanting more and having more, we're going to be happy for some reason. A bigger car, more clothes, more this, more that. And the fact is you don't. Again, remember, you're a tenant on this planet. You're a tenant on this planet. Your contract may be terminated at any time, and guess what? You can't take everything that you have. You can't take anything with you. You can't. So we're also kind of like, destroying the planet with this, because not only we are following this false sense of happiness by wanting more, having more, being more. Well, being more is okay, but by wanting more, that all of a sudden we're stressed, we're unhappy, we're miserable because we want that bigger car, because we want that bigger house.
For more information on collaborating, partnering, sponsoring, supporting, or speaking at any of our events, or finding out more about our legacy clubs, go to www.thebestyou.co. If you're interested in finding out more about the amazing content we have, please go to www.thebestyou.online and get your 14-day free trial now.
So I've been on this step. My journey has been about being congruent and being honest. Okay, so I had to make some tough decisions, because when I was writing the book, I had to ask myself some of these empowering questions as I was asking you guys. And then it forced me to be congruent and honest. Bernardo, you can't get this book out. You can't be the author and you can't be the publisher of The Best You if you're the crap you, if you're an average you. So I had to be congruent. So I had to make decisions in my life. I had to say, well, what is it I want to do that I haven't done yet? Is there anything holding me back? Am I happy? So I started asking myself these questions, and I made some drastic decisions that affected my family. I decided that I wanted to go and do my own thing. I didn't do it to upset anyone. I just simply did it because I wanted to explore what I was capable of doing, and because I wanted to be congruent with my own teachings, with my own beliefs. And I wanted to become the best version of myself because I'm obliged. And because also my dad, unfortunately, passed at the age of 54, and that was always in my mind. So I wanted to make sure that from the age of 54, which was when I did all this, what else can I do? How much more can I live? What am I capable still of doing? So as far as I'm concerned, I'm just getting started. But it's obviously affected and hurt some of my family and so-called friends who very quickly went to judge me. And I'm not going to even go into judgment, because that's a completely different conversation. But the bottom line is, I did it because I wanted to be selfish. And there's nothing wrong with being selfish. My next book is called Selfish Development. Why? Because you have to be selfish. You have to take care of yourself. If you take care of yourself, you can take care of your loved ones. If you don't ask yourself those strong, empowering questions that are going to make you happy, that are going to make you kind of live and say, you know what, I did live a life without limits, and I did push the boundaries, and I have no regrets. And that last day when you're leaving, that's where I want to be. That's where I wanted to be. That's why I made those decisions. I didn't do it for anyone else. I was simply being selfish because I want to do what I want to do. And if you can do that with your loved ones, great. But if you can't, and you need to explore, and you need to go and do it. So that's the whole idea, and the essence of the book is to helping people ask themselves empowering questions. But the whole idea of me exploring where I was going and being selfish, I've started to understand, with the fact of understanding mortality, being a tenant on the planet, because my dad passed away as well at the age of 54. And unfortunately, my mum passed away this year, which hit me hard. At the end of the day, you can't take everything with you. You can't take anything with you. So my mum, like everyone else, collected a lot of items, which no one could use, no one would use. Well, give them to charities, but that's it. So we tend to have this thought, this idea of having more, wanting more, being more. And I repeat, wanting more. And the problem is that you just don't need it to find happiness. So I'm at that stage where I love and I'm embracing the idea of minimalism, of having as less as possible, of just needing what I need. I had the houses. I've had the cars. I still have got a few motorcycles. I've had all that. And I'm okay not having it anymore. I'm okay just having what I need. And that's the concept. Because you see, we're destroying the planet. And I was in a talk. I was invited to a talk of Ken Honda, the author of Happy Money. Highly recommend you buy his book. And Ken Honda's was talking in this talk, which was promoted by Doria Cordova, where credit is due. And he was talking about money and how, saying arigato and thank you when you have money, you receive money. But he had this concept where he was sitting around the table with his family. He was exploring, okay, what do we have on the table here now? And they had tomatoes, they had peppers, and they had lettuce, and they had meat, and they had fish, and they had wine. And they started looking at where all these different items were coming from. Argentina, tomatoes from Europe, lettuce from Japan. It was coming from all over the world. And he was saying that we can't continue like this. It's ridiculous that, you get a bottle of wine that's traveling for 5,000 miles, 3 months on a boat, shipping, staff, people, supermarket, trolleys, lorries. And just imagine for you to get that bottle of wine and drink it on your table, it's mad. So he was talking about the whole idea of local produce. He's talking about the idea of obviously these sweatshops where they make clothes and all of a sudden you go and buy another shirt, you go and buy another shirt. But what about all the process of that shirt being produced and everything being made for you? Because you're selfish, because you're greedy, because you think that you want more, you need more, and because you don't really care about the planet, because you don't care about the consequences. So this is what I'm saying. It's about taking responsibility for our actions, all of us. The best you and becoming the best you requires for you to review and to think about everything, to think about everything that we do, to think about everything that you do on a daily basis in order to understand and appreciate the impact, hopefully the positive impact that you're having on the planet. You're not paying rent to live here. You've been given a beautiful body. You've been given an amazing planet. And you've got life, and you've got resources, and you've got phones, and you've got technology, and you've got light, and you've got so many other things that so many other people don't have. What are you doing with that? So that's what I believe personal and professional growth is all about. It's about really understanding. It's about thinking about nothing, but then thinking about everything and about thinking. And also about understanding that the question or the answer is the question. It's about exploring that at the end of the day, if you start asking yourself these empowering questions, how can I make a difference? Really dig deep. So that's my thought. That's kind of where I'm at with my phase. So I wanted to share because obviously kind of I read a lot. I'm always thinking about new things and I'm trying to stay as current as possible because I read a lot of books, but I also connect with a lot of people. And I love people like Jeff Hoffman, who's a humanitarian making massive difference. I love what Bill Gates, Bill and Melinda Gates are doing. I love a lot of the charities, H21, taking care of slavery. I love a lot of what these guys are doing. So I'm hoping, my hope is that we start creating a new generation of personal development thinkers, followers, lovers, embracers, inspirers that really start making a difference to the world, because we've messed it up. My age and older messed it up big time. And I really hope that the youth make note of the mistakes that we've made. I really hope that us, whatever age we are, we wake up to take responsibility for what we've done and try to start making a difference. Although there's lots of things happening, the planet is healing with all these planes stopped and all these lorries not traveling. It's healing. It's not a bad thing. So not everything is bad. And sometimes things happen for a reason. And if you look at what's happening right now, I'm sure there's a lot of families and people out there that are suffering and struggling, and can't make, the ends meet. And that's sad. I get it. But maybe it's time to reinvent. Maybe it's time to do new things. Luckily, over the years, over centuries, we've had these revolutions. The Industrial Revolution, the Agricultural Revolution. Luckily, because if not, we'll still be living in a cave throwing stones at each other. So change is good. Change is good. You've got to embrace change. And you've got to adapt to change quickly, like that. Don't start thinking about it. Adapt. So that's my hope. My hope is that through the best you, through my teachings, through what I believe in, I start creating this new generation of thinkers and inspirers that are going to go out there and really make a difference. Because, yeah, it's just not right. You know, we don't need all the things that they say we need. There is no they, and you have a responsibility because you're living on this planet for free, and because you should use your life. Use your life before it's too late. So that's pretty much it. I don't even know how I'm doing for time. I'm kind of like I prepared my talk today. I had the idea of what I wanted to share, but I wanted to prepare my talk today because these are the things that are very close to me, and that's why I do what I do. Now, on my journey of selfish development, which is just literally kind of like semi-getting started, I have a lot of people that have said very nice things about me. I've had a lot of people that maybe think I'm a lunatic or don't really get what I'm doing. I don't know, but it's with love. It doesn't really bother me. I don't do things to please I don't do things to please people. I do things to please myself. I don't do anything to offend anyone. I don't do anything to upset anyone. Everything I do from a place of love. And I've been sharing that I share when I get the opportunity. Whatever, anything and everything else happens on the planet, whatever you learn, whatever you read, whatever you do, whatever you believe in, whatever you want, ultimately, it's all about love. We all want love. We all need love. That's what it's all about. So, of course, feeling the love is important to me. Les Brown said some beautiful words. Touch my heart. I was nearly in tears. Mr. Les Brown. So you have to come from a place of love. You have to do things from a place of love. You have to be kind. You have to understand your responsibility on this planet. You have to be part of the solution. And together, if we all start thinking around these lines of not needing as much, and maybe because we simply don't, because by having less, maybe we have less hassle and less aggravation, by thinking about what we're thinking about, by asking ourselves empowering questions, by inspiring those around you, by focusing on your legacy, by stopping and asking yourself these questions and start focusing on legacy. If we all start doing it, we're going to make the world a better place. So that's it. I want to thank you so much.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.